Our resident Polish prince takes on the beautiful Belarusian now, Dan, as we get into a game that I think I'm potentially most excited for tonight, cypher versus Av3k. A lot of history in this one, a lot of fantastic previous matchups, and genuinely just two all-out Quake legends, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's, as you said, so much pedigree in one server, so much greatness, so much history, but also still so much potential. I think both of these players have been on the cusp of getting back to what one would consider their old form, getting back to the upper echelons of the standings. I think cypher slightly closer than Av3k has been, so they continue evolving, they continue getting better, and it's I'll be interested to see how they continue to develop that this season, because I think cypher went into last stage finals as one of the favorites. Didn't come out near on top, but put in a good showing. Av3k will definitely be disappointed with how he performed. I think a lot of people expected a lot better from him. He came out swinging at the start of the last stage, but then slowly dwindled off towards the latter part, and was a pretty meager showing in the finals. So he has a lot to prove for me.
Absolutely. I think coming out here as well, right? If there ever was a matchup that would kind of get you in the right mindset and get you honed in and focused for this season, this would probably be it. Like, the amount of times these two players have gone head to head with a lot on the line, you now put yourself back into an environment where it's your opening Pro League matchup, it's your week one, and we have both of them clashing. Man, like, this is the sort of game that gives you a wake-up call straight away. You know what I mean? Like, this is a splash of water to get you ready for the day.
Yeah, I agree. And if they put on their best show, then it will be definitely the game of the day, as they're probably the two closest matched in terms of skill that we've got today, and two that should be sitting right at the very top of the leaderboard.
Yeah. Two of the brightest sparks from EU that we have going out tonight, I would say, and I'm looking forward to it. I actually think this one could be sick. I do wonder, though, what we're going to get. Obviously, Veto could affect this an awful lot. It could be a bit of a mixed bag. We do have it on our hands. Quick scan. I'm intrigued. Ruins into Corrupted Keep. And finally Awoken. We're keeping the Awoken trend going. Champion-wise, what are we working with here, Dan? Ison,
Av3k's probably much favoured pick. Always seems to play it on Ruins. We saw it earlier today. We saw the turret coming out for Wenger, and it was incredibly effective. So we know what that brings to the table. I'm loving the Ranger pick. Gives a lot of versatility for cypher to work with, to play around that turret if he needs to, and just show us some of that lovely creative skill that he has at his disposal. Corrupted Keep, we've got another two medium picks here with the Strog against the Galena. Strog allows you to bring out a lot more aggression, whereas Galena obviously is more of a favoured pick for cypher, but also incredibly good on Corrupted nonetheless. A bit more difficult to get up that overstack, but if you can do, we know how powerful that is. And then Awoken, light versus light. That's a pretty unusual matchup. We've got Nyx, which was kind of picked back in the early stages of the map, but faded ever so slightly against the Athena. So that's going to be a really, really interesting play.
Yeah, some light on light action could be very exciting. I'm curious about that one. I don't know how I feel about it. I think that's one we're just going to have to wait and see. We'll start off with Ruins, though, as that is our debut map here. So, Ison for Av3k, Ranger for cypher. Again, cypher, a player that's very good with using the Dire Orb. I'd say to be a little bit more sneaky, Dan. Like, some of his repositions are really quality, but it's also the bait plays he goes for. Like, a master of manipulation with that Dire Orb for baiting people out. The amount of times I've seen him use it to just waste time and make you second guess, make you effectively have to flick between two different angles out of paranoia. Really, really quality stuff. So if that comes in and he's able to do what he normally does with it, could be a huge caveat.
Yeah, I think maps 1 and 2 are relatively even on the pick. Map 3, I would lean towards the Athena. I think you have to play exceptional to make Nyx work, but you also have to play exceptional to make sure you maximize Athena's skill set. So I would definitely lean towards still slightly for the third map, but there's some really interesting picks. It's very off meta from what we've seen today.
It is, and I suppose that's probably a good thing, really, considering the two players that we've got here. It means no matter what, this is going to be a bit of an unorthodox series. It'll be a little bit more explosive. Awoken should be a spectacle no matter what happens, right? You're going to have those quick chases that come out from the Athena, the quick getaways as well with the Ghost Walk, plus light on light. You can actually kind of get away with using that Ghost Walk for aggression as well, a little bit more than normal.
Yeah, and but you won't have any many vials to work back on because Athena's constantly going to be resnacking on them, and that's why it's a little bit more difficult for Nyx going up against the Athena. But then you're on light, so you're not as vulnerable as you would be going up against a medium or a heavy champion relatively, but you still have to be incredibly careful. So we're going to have to see a positional masterclass from Av3k if he's going to take Awoken. The maps 1 and 2 pretty even. It comes down to a playstyle choice.
No, all in all, I think this is a good series. I think we've actually really got a lovely spread. Like this is like a 5-star buffet that we got going on here. So let your friends know if they're a fan of Quake. If they're not, if they just like FPS in general, hit them with it. Hashtag Quake Pro League. Send them the link. Tell them to get in here. This is going to be a big game. This is genuinely going to be a super sick series. 2 fantastic players that have so much pedigree to them, and I'm excited to kick this one off going into Ruins to start us. Dan, who's going to get Ruined? First map predictions. Who takes this?
I think cypher. I think I still edge it out with cypher across the board today. I like Ranger's versatility. I think Ison brings a good skill set to the table, but it's incredibly situational. I think the Ranger skill set just offers a lot more overall.
Oh, definitely. The amount of plays you can make with that Dire Orb, man, it's going to be good to see. Cypher, he's definitely proficient with it as well. I've only ever seen good things from his Ranger. Early in, already, he is on duty of taking down the automatons, as he will be able to scrap that droid, stop it from getting a leg up for Av3k early on, and put a little bit of pressure on. Basically a mirror image on the stack in terms of the way they're playing this one. Both major items coming up in a couple of seconds as well. 3-second split between them. Mega's not up for 3 seconds though. And this is a bit awkward for Cypher. He's going to take so much damage from that turret being dropped. In the meantime, Av3k, he's got himself the heavy dance. The timing being muddied, and Cypher just pieces out.
Yeah, gets away there. Maybe a slight mistake. Tries to push in aggressively. Cypher's got a lot to work with. Again, the repositional from the orb isn't going to bait Av3k as he does walk away with that frag with a nice vertical rail. He also might get the follow-up here. Good damage from Cypher, but it's not going to be enough.
Oof. Little bit of damage going out. Nice face though, actually, on the re-aggression. Av3k, he's already 2 frags up, and he's looking to get himself a hat-trick immediately to start this one off. Just pummeling his way through him. Fist after fist pounding down. We're 1 minute and 30 seconds in. 1 second split between the items. Mega's up in 4, lurking straight towards it. Peers over the ledge, and nearly got a shot off onto the back of the heel there for Cypher.
Rail's been on point for Av3k so far, but Cypher's responding in kind at every single turn, so good all round. Cypher incredibly weak. Av3k got the read, but the rail from Cypher makes Av3k railable and has to back out, even though Cypher was incredibly low. Orb up top as well, puts him in perfect position to go defensive.
These boys have got the drip as well, Dan. When it comes to the weapon skins, they've got some pretty tasty looking loadouts, I'm not going to lie to you. The styles there, and that pizzazz is what's going to be one of the driving forces behind their plays. Again, that turret making it awkward for Cypher, giving away his positioning and inflicting a lot of damage onto him, allowing the true gangster to rock up towards him. The big Polish man is going to shut him down as he detonates him in mid-air. Again, slays Cypher. Cypher straight back in though with the LG, latching onto him and siphoning his life as he dips down towards Heavy. Big trade coming in. Already the initiation round off the back of the spawn. God, this is actually turning into quite a bit of a scrap between the two of them. Cypher trying to get the read of where Av3k is going to peek from next. Bullet after bullet landing. The shrapnel rippling its way through him, but the rail hits harder. Buckles Cypher, gets himself the heavy, peeks out in the close range engagement, but the near misses aren't landing, and it's the Dire Orb to take him down.
Cypher had enough of that shit, he's just going to blow him up.
He was not happy. Didn't want to play by the rules. No more near misses with the rails, instead just wants to clock him in the face with a speedball. Oof, okay. Okay! The rail was pulled out, Cypher misses on the close peak, but Av3k slays himself, skewers himself like a shish kebab.
Got quite a scoreline already. Mounting up, the pace is unrelenting. Av3k wanted to keep it quick. You see him pushing in again. He's got the stack. Cypher's incredibly early for the Mega, and it's actually the turret that cleans him up as it's just sitting there in the doorway.
What on earth is happening here already, by the way, Dan? Like, this Ruins map has already been so out of the ordinary in terms of the aggression. They're just fighting. It's a bit of a feud on this one. You can see that they're just bringing the punches out. They're not pulling any of them. Av3k, though, might need to pull himself into a bit of a safety net here, as it looked like he was dropping Quake. But instead, he gets the heavy. Quick rocket jump to get back up to get both of the major items as well. Cypher gets away, yes, but he also gets a free rail to the back of the head, dropping 90 HP. The close engagement from Av3k as he chases him. Can't quite get that tag off, but the turret's still putting the feelers out. Oh, the peak as well onto the stairway. Cypher lucky to even be breathing here.
Wow.
And he won't be anymore.
And Cypher cannot find a way to stall Av3k. He cannot find a way to slow the tempo. To put it into context, that is the first heavy armor he's had all game. That's 5 minutes. 10 pickups, it's the first one he's had.
Man. Pretty wild as well when you look at it for what it is right now. Halfway through this matchup, and Av3k being the one that's just running away with the course of the game. Cypher so low, he's got to get out of there. Has to keep moving. But I think he's toyed with him. He's thrown him off.
Yeah, he's used the orb. He's got 30 health. He's going to wait out for the heavy. He does get it, but he's got nothing to work with. Av3k will be able to track him down. You can smell blood on his prey. Cypher here just taking a lot of risk because he knows he can't afford to waste any more time. Even if he has to give up a frag, he's got nothing to work with. He just needs to do as much damage as he can if he's going to go down. He's actually doing it.
Coming in. Yeah, he's doing a good job of at least punishing him. Oh, that miss as well could be a bit of a game changer, but the issue is the orb also gets stuck.
He wanted to push in aggressively with a shotgun, but he actually miss-orbed.
Man, okay, some of the slight near misses here are really quite awkward. A cacophony of minuscule mistakes that start to pile up and put the pressure on them. Pixel shot there as well from Av3k. If that landed, it would have been filth, but it doesn't connect. He's also doing a good job of keeping his stack in close nick, but that shot from the rail will burn its way through his armor and leave him just down to the fleshy bits.
Finally, Cypher managed to get himself into a position to become competitive. Av3k setting up early. Well, the heavy does take it, but eats the rail for his troubles as well. But he's actually might be able to just get a lick of damage here. Cypher reading the movement though. Nice double back from Av3k as well. Cypher now not able to track down Av3k, so Av3k's playing really well the first 6 minutes.
It's dropped onto him, committing for the kill. The LG will shut him down. Finally, Cypher back in with a kill. So at this point, we're looking at a 6-3 split on the scoreline, close towards the 7-minute mark. He's got weaponry to work with, 4 rails in the back pocket, using the LG and the rocket combination to kill the turret. But look how much stack he lost. Yes, he gets the heavy, but he's not in a great spot when you compare that to the now buffed Av3k that's been able to get a free mega. Unless Cypher goes in with a chip damage down before their next real fight, Av3k's going to have a huge edge. What?
Okay.
Mate, this is unacceptable behavior.
He gets the spawn of kings as he drops into Av3k's path and gets himself back on the board. There's only 3 frags in it. It feels like it should be a lot more in Av3k's favor. Cypher somehow worming his way back into this game. Av3k, though, will be able to take this mega away and begin to stabilize. Needs to get some weapons, though, as Cypher comes flying through with the rail. Now he's in a lot of trouble.
Cypher trying to hold on as close as he can. His heart's got to be sinking at this point. And so's his chances of picking this one up, like a sinking ship. He's taking on far too much water. He needs to do something soon, Dan. We're at 8 minutes. Av3k, 7 frags. Cypher down on just 4. 1 second till Mega spawns in. Misses the rail, still holds. It's not going to work. The follow-up rail from Av3k there is more than enough to kill him. The end point, man, is making it look like it is the end for Cypher here on Ruins already.
And it is the end. Don't foresee a 5-frag comeback the way Av3k's playing so far, particularly with how hard the Polish Punisher is hitting, as you would say.
He just doesn't stop. Once he starts coming, he doesn't stop coming. He's fed Cypher to the wolves when he hit the ground running. Back up the bounce pad, though, as he'll be running in to potentially find himself a 10th frag if he can track down Cypher once again. 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock. Av3k, only 3 weapons in his back pocket, and that's all he needs. The rail's been a huge weapon for him. He's had 6 frags with the rail down. 2.1k damage, that's 60% accuracy.
Yeah, his rail's been game-changing. The amount he was hitting, particularly in the early game, kind of nullified any sort of pressure coming out from Cypher. Reflecting on the way in which the game started, it was obviously very detrimental to Cypher's chances, giving the full map away for Av3k, then sucking up a lot of damage with the rail. Before he knew it, he was 4 frags down, and Av3k had a commanding lead and was forced to take some more adventurous plays to try and get back into the game, which unfortunately didn't work out. But it's incredibly rare to be able to shut Cypher out the map so rigidly. Like, not having a single pickup of the heavy for the first 5 minutes is just insane.
Oh, mate, I feel like a train conductor. I'm seeing so many rails. They just don't stop, Dan. Frag after frag off the back of the railgun. 4 kill deficit here for Cypher. It's in the bag. It's GG. It's all game. It's set a match on Ruins. First map in this series goes the way of Av3k. A classic matchup. And an interesting result as Eisen bests the Ranger there. That's quite a tasty one.
Yeah, classic matchup, but not classically played. Very chaotic for the first few minutes. Good lockdown by Av3k. Nice aim coming out. This is how we started the last stage. Really strong. And if you can continue that momentum we did last time, that's when it becomes, you know, one of those challenges we put up there as a contender for the title.
Oh, absolutely. I think all in all, there was some really crisp plays that came out. Like, if that's the way they're going to play it, if it is going to be a chaotic game of Quake, Av3k certainly took the reins and realized what he could get away with. Like, the chain kills that came back to back, some of the awkward encounters that went on. There was like 1 or 2 misplays as well, where it felt like Cypher kind of got himself into an unfortunate spot where there were major items that could have been his, and he just looked, I don't know, Dan, a little bit unconfident.
Yeah, there was some uncharacteristic plays by Cypher, and it took him a while to begin to find his groove, and even towards the end there's some plays you would just not expect. A bit sloppy at times, but you know, we did say at the very start of the day that some players might have to take an extended break, and this is their kind of pre-season for the season, you know?
Yeah.
Getting back into the groove of things, and maybe that's something we're seeing from Cypher just now. A bit of rustiness that he needs to shake off, and map 1 definitely would have a bit of a wake-up call for him. It was a rough road for a lot of that map.
Yeah, you've got a couple of minutes. Squirt some WD-40 on your chains, get yourself moving, and get back into the series. There's still 2 maps. Obviously, the one that was the big kind of perplexing game as well was the 3rd and final matchup, right? The double light over on Awoken. That's the one that, for me, I thought was going to be carnage and was going to be chaotic and be a lot more like what we actually got here with Ruins. I'm curious to see what on earth's going to happen on the 2nd map, though, because at least you put them in a position where, you know, Av3k's not going to have as easy of a time of it. Because look at the amount of damage he did with that rail. 2.4k nearly, effectively, Dan. Or nearly 60% accuracy. You need to get that rail out of his hands. You can't let him have it anymore. It's not okay.
No, he was sitting at 70 plus rail for the first 3 or 4 minutes when the frags really began to mount up again to slide away towards the latter part of the map, but he was hitting so hard. 6 frags with that weapon alone shows how instrumental it was to his victory. Cypher again, lower stats than one would expect coming out from him, just not an awful lot of damage, and full credit to Av3k because he was playing ultra aggressive. Cypher couldn't deal with the tempo.
No, he couldn't at all. Like, here's the only blessing, right? You go into Corrupted Keep now, so there is no rail. Like, at least in that front, you don't have to worry about the fact that if that's the weapon that Av3k's popping off with, you can't match that. Normally, though, Cypher's like sick with the rail. It's always been a weapon that he's had a big boom with. He's confident with it. But at the minute, it didn't seem like it was hitting. It didn't seem like it was anywhere near as impactful. We have had times where we've spoke to him in interviews, right? And he said, like, sometimes it just doesn't work. And he focuses more on his rockets and his LG. If his rail's not on ball, like on the ball, at least on Corrupted Keep, this is where both of you are on a level playing field. There is no rail opportunity. So we can't use that as a leg up against you.
Yeah, Corrupted Keep will push you much towards to big brain plays, playing strategy, playing positioning, being efficient in the mid-range damage. And that will give cypher a bit more of a springboard to get back into the game, because as you say, it doesn't matter if you're not aiming as hot on a map like Corrupted Keep. You can work around that a lot easier than if you're just pure on a rail-based game.
Well, here we go then. Corrupted Keep, second map in the series. After this, we get Awoken, which is both Athena and Nyx. At that point, nothing is set in stone, especially not with the way the first map has gone. It feels like this could go either way, but we're getting into it. Who owns the lease for this keep? Only time will tell. Cypher taking on Av3k. Na'Vi versus Endpoint. The battle. The champions. With Av3k being a map up, can he get himself the 2-0 in the series right here, right now?
Cypher delaying quite a lot the heavy though. Av3k will realise that. Not sure if he heard it, but he definitely would have realised what's going on. He's caught Cypher here. He's got no weapons. The big shotgun, but it's not enough.
The big shotgun, but it ain't no fun when you're getting licked up by lightning. There's Av3k. Hitting him quite hard and causing some havoc, especially with the Pika plays, as it will crash into the back of Cypher's spine. Peers over the top of the ledge as well. Bullets raining down on top of him. The totems drop to try and stop him on the close corner. It would have done a lot of damage if he went straight into it. Instead, he has to waste a bit of time popping it and switching back onto the LGs. He gets locked into the next fight. Cypher, he's got the stack advantage here, Dan. He could take this 1-for-1, but the chip damage from Av3k actually looks pretty clean. He hits the follow-up rocket as well. Yes, he's low, but timing is everything, and he gets the mega.
Exceptional play by Av3k. Even though he's out of position, he uses the speed of the Strog and the perfect timing to swoop in. Great rockets as well. Got Cypher rattled just a little bit there, but nevertheless, Cypher comes out very healthy, having picked up that heavy armor relatively uncontested. So Av3k needs to reposition, perhaps just do some range damage over by this mega. Trying to check for the totems as he scuttles around the map as well.
Coming straight in, hit by the lightning bit by bit. Pika as well, gonna hit him very hard. Av3k though, booped, knocked up in the air as the rocket gives him a bit more thrust. He responds with a rocket of his own that will land, misses out on that one, and he's down to 24 stack. Fully commits for the swing though, doesn't back off, doesn't play it safe. He goes in there, and it doesn't work.
No, praying that Cypher had the wrong weapon choice there, but Cypher switching to the lightning up at the right time, gets a nice little frag, very cleanly as well, just before the mega. Now has a perfect opportunity to take this map away as he's able to pick up the heavy as well. Just waiting to get some information onto Av3k before he does so.
Again, dropping the totem down. Clean use of the tri-bolt there from Cypher. Av3k actually being kept in check a lot more here on Corrupted Keep so far. Darts back across, 2 ticks from the LG is all that he hits. Good use of the rocket jump. Lovely trigonometry as he lines that one up to get himself into position. Grabs the mega as well. We're close towards the 3-minute mark. But who's going to get the second kill? Nice impact. 65 damage done. Av3k low. He will get the heavy, and he's actually chunking back against Cypher. How is he alive, Dan?
Full rocket into a totem. Inadvertent, but effective. And Av3k needs to be wary here. Cypher's not the healthiest, but having picked up that light is more than healthy enough to contest for this mega. Pika instantly crashes as he knows he needs to get out of there. Still able to do some damage. Lovely movement by Cypher. He jumps onto a totem. He's low and he's gonna die.
He's left brown bread. Ooh, and the rockets. They're connected into the head of Av3k, peeking back over with the LG as well, dropping the totem, so if he comes out from behind the statue, he would have been trapped. Instead, he stays on the lower levels, the high ground helps out as Cypher will clutch it, gets the kill, pocket heal as well as he's able to walk over his totem. Mega's back up. He actually beats him out on a timing. He doesn't go for it, doesn't rotate round, instead deviates back and makes the play for his heavy, giving up that mega for Av3k when it potentially could have been contested for. 3 totems down now. That's the 3 overstack coming out, but one of them gets eradicated. Ooh, wow.
Nice.
Clean hits there. Beautiful tracing. Straight back in. Wow, the little flick as well actually gets the tag off. The dainty love tap, Dan.
Av3k's being out-positioned at the moment. Cypher's continually catching him off guard, and Havoc's finding it quite tough, but he's now managed to work himself into a position where he's taken both major items, so it's a huge opening for him. He needs to get himself rockets. He's got no weapons to work with, but the Pika is big.
Tap after tap, hitting him heavy. Good read from the rockets to force him back. We've got 3 seconds till Mega's up. He can lurk around it. He'll be able to grab that one. Stack now, starting to get stark contrastly different compared to what Cypher has to work with. We're almost at 5 minutes.
No,
Cypher fully commits! The shotty! Oh,
get out.
Havoc! Oh my god. He's done. He's just been absolutely slaughtered.
Unacceptable behavior.
It really is. It's quite disgusting. You can't be pulling out plays like that with a shotgun, Dan. It is not allowed. Apparently, Avoc's not allowed any room to breathe on Corrupted Keep. He's going to be grieving with the way this game's going, as it looks like he's about to meet his maker once again. Cypher darting back and forth, leaping from ledge to ledge, hitting down with rockets onto the head of Av3k. It's like he's doing yoga.
Cypher's just been more efficient with damage in between encounters. He's often going into these engagements on pretty much a full stack, whereas Av3k is significantly weak, and the defensive rockets in particular have been such a highlight for me, as Av3k, as he tries to push, is always eating these amazingly placed rockets. Oh, good Pika.
Fucking it out the sky though, it's easy pickings for him. It's like a game of duck hunt. Ooh, Cypher retrieving that kill quite easily. Clearly not happy about what happened on the first map, was not content with the way Ruins has gone. He wants to take this series 1 map apiece and put it all on the line for the 3rd and final map. Awoken could be the decider if he keeps this pace. Worrying, Dan. You can see his arsenal basically had nothing left. It was just the rockets. He had to hit them. He had no LG, no ammo for anything else, but he does. Of course, he'll be able to land those. He is a bit of a rocket man, and right now he's burning his fuse out, as it seems like time is up for Av3k. 11 frags on the board, dives back in, trying his luck once again, but they trade.
They trade, but Cypher gets the better spawn, picks up the heavy. Av3k's moved over, but he doesn't realize it's gone, and now the full map has also gone. And so have the last slim chances that he would have to come back into this game. Oh, I was on the wrong POV. That's actually Av3k picking everything up. My bad. Nevertheless, the defensive rockets work either way.
Yeah, I mean, at least they were able to do summit. Av3k nearly down by 10 frags here. Not really much time left. Clean aim at least. Like, he locks onto him, basically coming in like a human aimbot, but the issue is his software is failing, and it seems like it's going to be a hard reset. No, stays alive actually. Firewall holds up. Cypher's the one that crumbles at weight to dust. Does get himself a 4th kill. Pika play coming out to try and punish. Shot after shot landing. Beautiful work with the plasma. It's normally the kamikaze that does all the work, but instead it's the bullets that ripple their way through Cypher. Av3k trying to go sicko mode, but he's no Travis Scott, as instead he's dead. God damn, Dan.
It's been a really impressive performance by Cypher, considering that he looked relatively rattled in map 1, much more composed in map 2.
No, yeah. Entirely different style of play, really, with the way they played it. I think as well. He's Goomba stomped him.
Goomba stomped him.
he's done him, Dan. He's hit him with the Mario moves. Yeah, you take into consideration, right, though, like, Av3k, I'm going to go out on a whim and say as well, like, with Ruins, it was the rail. The rail was the game changer. Like, Cypher just could not alleviate the amount of stress that was put onto him from the rail. You go in at Corrupted Keep, and Cypher just has, like, free reign to play it his way. It looks way better for him.
Yeah, and as we said, this map kind of takes you back to basics, forces you to play much more positional, to play a more conceptual game, and definitely gave cypher that boost he needed. What a rocket that was, but Av3k got a little bit too much. Always nice to see nice plays, even though the scoreline doesn't matter at this point. Command indeed. Sure, Av3k will be now thinking about moving into the final map. Nyx on Awoken.
Ooh. And he's been skewered on a totem. It's not ideal.
Not for the first time.
Hurt. No.
Pretty used to it
not
by
at
now.
all.
Loose
You would
enough
really
for
have
it.
to. Loose enough?
Impaled by it.
It's like a sponge, damn the amount of holes in him. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm soaking up all the action with this series as we do go 1-1. Meaning, of course, as you said, we go into Awoken as a decider, not even just as an exciting prospect, but now actually as a full-on blown decider for who's going to take the series. This is the one that I think we were both a little bit perplexed about in terms of the champion picks, is it's not too common. It's not something that you see that often, right? Athena on Awoken, always interesting when you see it. Nyx on Awoken, always interesting when you see it. Both of them at the same time, in the same place, in this kitchen, Dan. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, you normally see these two picked against each other on something like a Blood Covenant, a much bigger map where you've got time to retreat, set up, play defensive, but when you're on a bit of Awoken, where it is more aggressive, a faster tempo, that's where it's a bit more unusual. But light versus light is always fun to watch. As I said in the intro, I would put my favouring towards the Athena, just the additional manoeuvrability you get from those grapples, got more uptime on them, have to be calculated with how you use that Ghost Walk. And I think Nyx on Awoken's hard to play at the best of times. It definitely works, that's why it was always a standard pick, but kind of fell out of favour for a reason. So I have to give the edging to cypher.
I think I would have actually gone all in on Av3k as well if we had seen that same sort of pace that what we had in the first map. But obviously going to keep, you kind of pull the rug out from under his feet because he didn't have the rail, but he wasn't able to adapt anywhere near as quick as what we saw from cypher. Cypher as well looked way more like his usual self. He didn't look that confident on Ruins. Like, they played very aggressive, yes, but it wasn't the most confident cypher we've seen. Like, he was making a couple of like weird moves where it felt like maybe if he did commit to a fight, he would have got it. Coming corrupt to keep though, game changing. You could see that obviously like the pace had changed entirely. He looked completely refreshed and just played a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, and Av3k didn't take his foot off the gas, really. There was time and a place where he needed to retreat into himself, play more defensive, but didn't feel like he ever tried to change the tempo of the game. And that worked for cypher, as he was in control for quite a lot of it. You can see the items firmly in his favor, hugely high damaging game throughout. And cypher was continuously catching Av3k off guard, played the mid-range game a lot better, set up better traps. So Av3k wanted to fight, and cypher wanted to fight, but he was doing a better job in between the fights to whittle Av3k's stack.
Yeah, that is true. A beautiful game of Quake from two very beautiful men, but finally, we get to the point we have been building up to. Awoken is the third and final map for this one. It looked very exciting on paper. I think once we get into it in the flesh as well, it should live up to that level of hype. You've got the Nyx pick for Av3k. You've got Athena in play for cypher. And of course, this does decide who actually gets the edge standings-wise coming off the back of the first week here for Season 2 of Stage 2 of the Quake Pro League. This is the debut for both of these players this time around. You had to prove it. You had to really give your A game. I think especially for Av3k as well, right? Like, the unfortunate factor is the way he went out back at the stage finals, obviously. What was it? The head-to-head versus Xenoku, right? You play against literally the guy that you've basically been spending loads of time with and we're literally landing with for that final, right? Inside of your house. That's rough. That's a rough way to have to actually lose out and get knocked out of the bracket play. So obviously coming back in and just giving it as one to that first map, it was cool to see. Definitely a different style of tempo. It looked way more like his usual self. And Av3k can be sick. I think that's why this series looks so exciting just as a sound point. Both of these players, when they're on form, Dan, are just unbelievably sick at the game. So I just hope we get to see both of them full power now. We've seen 100% cypher on Corrupted Keep. We saw 100% Av3k back on Ruins. I want both of them giving it here on the third and final.
Yeah, I think it's completely fair. And when Av3k's on form, he might be my favourite player to watch. Always plays at high speed, can hit like a truck. And he's such a fun character anyway. And moving into Awoken, we will see obviously the return of the rail and how strong that was. Particularly on a Nyx, you're wanting to base your game heavily around that weaponry. So if Av3k can click with the weapon like he did on map 1, cypher's life will be difficult. However, cypher seems to have found its groove a little bit more. And if he begins to retaliate, this is where it becomes different because they're both got light stacks, so it can be quite cagey on that aspect.
Yeah, that's true. We might see a bit of a slower start. Potentially, we're going to see some aggression. I think at this point, I really don't know how this is going to go. I feel like it could just go either way. It's a matter of time, though. We're loading into the map. Awoken here for this one. This should be a big, big bust up. Two fantastic players. They've played a hell of a series so far, and we are loading into Awoken to decide who's going to take it. If this is going to be a win for Na'Vi or a win for Team Endpoint, Dan. A lot going into this, and it seems like we're ready to kick it off.
We are indeed. Is it our first 1-on-1 of the day?
No, I don't think it is, right? Didn't we get that in... No, actually, yeah, you're right. Every series has been a 3-0 to this point. We had Venga 3-0, we had the Hang 3-0, we had Zeneku 3-0, and now we finally got a 1-1. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Back to the...
Here we go.
Aggression coming out, but the retaliation to the rail once again. Very similar to map 1, and Av3k's got the first frag.
Av3k straight in, giving it.
Once again, he gets both major items off the spawn. That shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't, but it has. And that's the scary prospect about it. That would have been very scary, though. If he actually got that love tap off onto the back side of Cypher as he darted towards the Mega, it could have been deadly. Again, though, bullying him for both of the major items. Heavy, straight into Mega. Cypher, yes, he does some damage, but it's still not enough when you look at the overall stack for the way this has been played so far. Av3k's coming in and ruling with an iron fist in minutes here, Dan.
Yep, we can already see that Cypher's retreated to a defensive position up high. Just wants to rain down some damage, but the retaliation from Av3k's good, and the rail is there to finish off Cypher as well, taking the 2-0 just before the Mega.
You might think as well, right? You look at it and you go, both major items in one rotation. Yeah, that's fair. They're both light champs. It's an Athena, but the Athena's not the one that's getting anything at the minute. The movement seems to be working better for Av3k with the way that he's playing. LG pulled out, though, in the close encounter, dancing around the pole as he tries to duck back, barely keeping himself alive. Firing out pot shots, a little bit paranoid about where the play is going to come from. Cypher up on the top rope, but he's too slow. Already the heavy spawned in. He's going to get both again, Dan. All of the major items have gone to Av3k. Not a single one for Cypher.
No, that's painful. He's not even doing enough damage to mitigate it either. Av3k's the one continuously on the advantage with terms of hitting his shots.
Boy, oh boy. Both of them mirroring the damage. But Av3k, again, gets the added benefit of being able to snatch onto that item. Surely he's not going to keep this up. Cypher is so far out of control. He's still in the lobby, Dan. Av3k at this point has had 5 heavies and 5 megas. Every item has his name on it.
Cypher, though, is racking up a couple of rails back to back, so you can see the stacks are beginning to equalize, but because Av3k did hit a rail of his own, he's meeting the engagement here. Good read by Cypher to go in, but a full rocket to the face of the Athena. That one stings. Drops down, but the Ghost Walk is there. Can he get onto the Mega? Cypher retreats. He doesn't even show face.
And that's 6 for 6. Cypher still unable to pick up a single major item. Av3k's even been stealing a couple of the lights here and there. He's had 3 of them. He's being such a nuisance maker of making this uncomfortable for Cypher to ever have an opportunity to get into a fight, especially being on light champions as well. This is just a sleeper hold of a game. Oh, he's just strangling him. And he's going to smite him with a railgun. Say goodnight to Cypher as he has been slain. Av3k, 3 kills into the game. 1 a minute so far, Dan.
And still maintaining perfect control of the items, reading Cypher consistently. To Cypher's credit, he is keeping the score. How did he die? I killed himself. He's keeping the score, I was about to say, manageable. But that's a painful death. He needs to just commit himself for a major item. It does feel like this is the one he can get. And he finally gets his first item of the game, 4 minutes into the game.
Thing is, though, you look at his stack, you wouldn't even realize it from glimpsing at him, right? Like, he's taking so much damage. Again, there towards middle as well. The play coming out as he takes a heavy hit. Av3k realizing from the click that he's low on ammo. No tri-bolt to work with, so he couldn't get a sudden bit of burst damage off. Tries it again, actually, Dan. That's 2 times it's been pulled out. Surely this time he'll take the mental note of it. So that could have got a little bit sticky. If that was a close engagement, could have made it awkward, but at least for now, it's not going to matter too much. Cypher again reveals himself as he charges his way back around. LG is on display for Av3k, but the rails will be traded. Not connecting, though. Actually getting a bit more momentum in. Finally, he's had one of each major item for the first time in the game.
2 major items in 4.5 minutes. Feels bad, man.
Oof. Okay, Av3k's actually starting to get a bit bruised. He's not looking great. It's like when you get a banana that goes a bit old and it's got all the bruise marks on it. Cypher is hitting him over and over again, trying to go for the peek back out and actually capitalize to get a kill here. Put himself back on to 0 kills. He needs to, as right now he's down by a -1 deficit. Negative KD to work with as Av3k. He's getting low, but he's still standing tall. And of course, he always had the get out of jail free card, the ghost walk, to dart his way out. But all it does is burn a couple seconds off the clock. He still eventually dies, and Cypher will put himself back on 0 kills.
He is on the board. He's gone straight to the lightning gun, but he's got enough of a stack to bully his way through. So Av3k's coming in for more. The big rocket chips away. The mega spawns in time. Wants to win himself this heavy.
Av3k. He's been setting up mouse traps all over the place, but Cypher, he just sees cheese and a challenge, and that's why he's going to make his move to try and strike. Pushes back in, forces out another ghost walk. It is going to be popped, it is going to be wasted, but he won't be. He'll still stand tall, staying alive for now. Good use from the LG as well as he cascades back into the play, hitting him heavy.
No way!
Cypher! He goes swinging down. He forgot to put his seatbelt on, and he has gone straight out of the map.
Oh no, a vine too far as George flies out, and Av3k firmly in the ascendancy now. He's got both major items as a result of that, and he's fallen down as well. Oh, he's not swinging good today.
If that was a Spider-Man impression, Dan, he's been squished by a gigantic roll of newspaper, but that newspaper has a name, and it's Av3k. 3 kills on the board. 6 minutes and 45 seconds have passed. Cypher, this play's coming out, at least forcing out the ghost walk once again, but that's been the name of the game. Every time it seems like he could finally get a kill, he forces out the ghost walk and Av3k gets away, but this time, all he gets is slain. He gets put down, gets left taking a dirt nap, actually fully commits for a second as well, Dan, straight in his face, gives him a hug, and lets Cypher get himself 2 kills.
Somehow that point-blank shotgun missed, and that was huge because it makes sure that Cypher keeps the stack. And look at this, we're back to 3-2. 2.5 minutes to go. This game is far from over. Cypher has clawed his way back from the depths. Might rethink when he should be using that hook. Aggressive ghost walk comes out. Cypher has no idea what's going on.
It's happening. There's a chance. But with the amount of time left, it means that Cypher, he's got to try and be quick about this. Lucky to clutch on and keep himself in the land of the living. 7 seconds till Mega's up. Good read on the placement. Hits the shot on Av3k. 1 HP. A singular hit point is all he has. Literally limping round corners, and the tickle from the LG will tackle him. 4-2 once again. The scoreline stays edged slightly further ahead for Av3k.
Nice. Av3k's hit clutch shots so consistently throughout, and every one of those rails is so incredibly crippling for a light champion like Athena. It just sets Cypher back so far, and there's just not that many resources to work with. Nice back-to-back rails, but look how healthy Av3k is. Cypher has to stick around. He's running out of time here. He knows how much damage he's done, but he himself is railable. This is why he's being so cautious.
I mean, Ghost Walk getaway.
Straight into a heavy.
Yeah. 60 seconds done. 30 seconds per frag. That's basically what Cypher has been divvied up. If he doesn't hit his shots, if he doesn't pop off soon, it's going to be over and the dream will be done. It will be a 2-1 victory for Av3k, and it's not looking good for the chances of Cypher.
No, I'm thinking he might have mistimed that heavy, not realizing it's already been taken. It is coming up now, and it's a big item. If he gets this and he gets a frag, it's huge, but he gets neither.
It's done.
Will be done for Av3k.
It's done. Game, set, and match. A 2-1 victory here for Av3k. There, no chance for the comeback for Cypher. Just doesn't have the time available to him, and it is going to be set. The Belarusian bruiser left broken and bruised by the Polish Prince, who at this point is reigning in the series, Dan. He will get the overall victory, make the majority of money, and take the majority of the points.
Yeah, I mean, memeing aside for Cypher, he managed to keep that so close despite being on the back foot almost the entire map.
Two suicides as well.
Plus having no items for 5 minutes, literally no items. So you got to credit him for that. But Av3k kept that split up. He kept his timing to perfection. He didn't overcommit. Any one of those times, if Av3k had overcommitted on a light champion, suddenly the map flips on his head. But he made sure he played safe and steady, just kept the item rotation up and kept the pressure on Cypher. So it wasn't a high-scoring game, it was just a clinical game.
Yeah, well, I mean, you as you said, right, you have to factor in on the fact that Cypher's first mega was at, what, just before the 4-minute mark? First time he gets a heavy was at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Like, it's rough. At that point, Av3k had nearly pushed himself to double digits. It's wild how much control he had, and he wasn't on the Athena. Like, the roles were completely reversed in terms of the way I would have thought the control game would have gone, honestly.
Yeah, it comes down to the start, in all honesty. The fact that Cypher missed out on both major items at the start, again, was criminal. He then gave up a frag, and Av3k was incredibly healthy, so I don't know. I think he got tickled by the tri-bolt on his bum, and that threw him the momentum off the map. Unfortunate, because it's a pretty pivotal time in the game when he got thrown off the map there.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the POV there as well. That must be the actual full reaction. You can see the frustration from Cypher, and you would be rightly so, right? Like, it's one of those plays where it seemed like he was starting to get back into the groove. It felt like this is where potentially that gap's going to be closed, and then he's gone. He's just deep. He's sleeping with the fishes. He was gone like Stuart Little.
Yeah, it was a rough game for Cypher. So again, credit for him to staying in and keeping it at 5-3, but credit for Av3k for keeping his composure and his concentration from start to finish.
No, absolutely. Overall, again though, for what it was, hell of a series. It's always really, really cool when we actually get to see Cypher and Av3k go head to head. Like, the pedigree, the history, the amount of times that we've had this matchup be a grand final, right? Like, throughout Quake's legacy, it's really, really cool. A lot of prestige to this. But tonight, it was more of an unorthodox affair. Ruins was very aggressive. Awoken had a couple of mistakes thrown into the mix. Corrupted Keep was sick, just through and through. A good series, Dan, but one that nonetheless has come to a conclusion. But there is still more. We still have a lot more to go tonight. And the fun fact is, we're not even into the featured fights yet. We're not even pushing ourselves into the point where we get to start speculating about Razy Garpy, Rafa Saigib, because you know what's next, Dan? Nosfer versus Chain. Chain, the Canadian all-star that has really been building himself a legacy in the North American scene. And Nosfer, for me, one of my favorite North American players to watch. He can be outrageous when he's fueled up with confidence. I think this is going to be actually really fun to watch, and we'll be getting into it when we come back after the break.